Hey guys, so uh, first things first, uh, just gonna do basic weekly reading here. A few things in astrology, nothing huge. We have in the sidereal system, um, there's Mercury retrograde. Mercury is working along with Neptune also. I think that starts today. Yeah, today. Um, Mercury's work with Neptune, so you may find there's a lot of, I guess you could say, situations that push you to recognize maybe aspects in your life that you've been like letting go of your attention on. And so they kind of force you to recognize, oh man, I was kind of delusional about that, or maybe I think I kind of daydreamed a little too much and lost track of what I was actually doing. So that's Mercury and Neptune working together in a transit. Um, Mercury will be retrograde until the 28th. So if you're familiar with Mercury in retrograde, typically it manifests in ways where it really pushes you, really challenges you to really pay attention to your communication, how exactly you communicate, how efficient that is, how consistent that is, how much attention to detail you have surrounding your communication with others, how you understand things, verbally, all of that. So be cautious, be very focused, be careful about what it is that you are trying to communicate, double check, triple check, those kinds of things. If you're following up on something that you've already tried in the past before Mercury went retrograde, sometimes it's a really great time to finish up on things or follow through on things that fell through before. So maybe if you've had like a little kind of pet project that never got off its feet, last month or something, this would be a good time to maybe try a second time again. So, anyways, just to mention, I was sick last week. Sorry I didn't make the live session or the weekly reading. I ended up catching a nasty cold, and then it went from like a regular cold to like a chest cold, and I'm just on the tail end of it, so I'm finally able to start getting back into work. I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm excited because I found some great books for transit interpretations, some really great books for house interpretations, and I've got my eye on an astrology program that I'm going to pick up that will really help with my activity on this channel. So I'm really, really excited to see what that does for this business. But moving on, let's take a look at what you guys have to look forward to this week. So let's see. This coming week, what do you guys have to look forward to? Let's do a little flip. What's to look forward to this week? Oh, okay. I'd say overall from the medicine cards, we're getting, for getting the ant, I would say maybe something about this week is going to push you in the direction where you're starting to realize, maybe I shouldn't focus so hard on like, I don't know, what's the word? Sometimes we can get really, really determined to figure out what exactly it is we're supposed to be doing that's going to, really set us apart. It's really going to make us unique. It's really going to help us feel like we have a very special way of giving to our community, giving to the universe, helping others, that sort of thing. And as a result, that search for like solid, like I just want to be rare. I really want to be special. I really want to feel like what I have to offer is something that other people don't have to offer. Well, the ant says sometimes, that's obviously good. Everybody does have that kind of experience, and you will have that experience. If you're not feeling it right now, it's not to say to let go of it, but it is to say maybe to focus on something else right now. Maybe try to really connect with just what's in front of you, just what's at hand, just what's around you, the work that just needs to be done. It's kind of like in a situation where, I don't know if you have a boss or something like that, or if you are a boss, maybe. But it's kind of like that idea that, sometimes it doesn't really matter who does the work as long as the work gets done. Sometimes you have to just bite the bullet and say, you know what, I could blame and I could say, oh, well, it's that person's responsibility to do this. It's not my responsibility. It's not my job description. But the ant says it's time to just get the job done. It doesn't matter who gets it done as long as it gets done. Sometimes having your eye or your mindset on the bigger perspective, the big, the colony, the everyone. What does everyone really have to benefit if you're holding out on them because you say it's not part of your job description? If it will help everyone and it must be done, just, I don't know, I guess it's a little humility, I guess. Maybe that's what it's saying today. So another thing for this week may suggest a challenge in terms of maybe some anger might come up, some frustration with people around you, maybe feeling like you're not really getting a sense that people are seeing you. Maybe you're not getting a sense that people, maybe you're feeling like all of a sudden your desires and other people's desires are getting mixed together and it's getting really confusing. And you're not quite sure if what you're doing is helping you or if it's helping other people. I feel like this thing is coming up again this week of just like you really trying to figure out, okay, who's getting a benefit from the work that I'm doing? Maybe that's what's really coming up. I mean, we have the ant, we have the armadillo. The armadillo talks about boundaries, talks about, really naming, really putting a name to these kinds of conflicts, really recognizing where your feelings are coming from, recognizing, are these my feelings or are they other people? Who do they belong to? Maybe a situation with friends or family or people who are in a position of authority over you, who are really flexing their involvement in your life and they really want to help you, and regardless of whether or not they have good intentions, you're just feeling like, just get off my back, leave me alone, let me make my own choices. I feel like maybe what's coming up here in the cards is to really calm yourself, recognize the feelings that belong to you. If you're feeling like you're in a situation where you're not being respected and you have a desire to separate yourself from somebody else's plans, somebody else's ideas, somebody else's opinions. If you feel like there's a conviction there that's real, like a real conviction, not just you're being stubborn and you know it's right, but you're like avoiding it, but a real conviction. If you're feeling that conviction and it's you, it's not coming from your parents' ideologies or your friends' cultures or whatever. If it's coming from you, that you have the right to protect yourself, to stand up for yourself, to not out of revenge or out of like some kind of posturing or like status or power move or any of that other stuff. So no ego here, just recognizing, hey, I don't feel like I'm being seen here as like a separate person from what's going on. And I really feel like that's important, that I feel like I'm separate. I feel like that I have my voice heard, etc., etc. So, something coming up with that. Boundary work. Really recognizing who you are, how that makes you different from other people, and more importantly, maybe feeling attacked, maybe feeling powerless, maybe feeling like you don't have the ability to make a decision in this situation because somebody is trying to take that ability away from you. And you always have a choice. You always have a choice. So if your convictions are speaking up, you know the choice that you have to make. Don't get caught up in other people's opinions about you, your reputation, any of that stuff. The last card to come up is the alligator. I almost said crocodile. I guess it's a biological distinction that I would have to make there. But still, alligator. But it's reversed. Maybe this is saying this week's challenge is really going to be being able to slow down enough to recognize what kind of feelings are coming up for you. Honestly, I would say if you're noticing irritability, if you're noticing that you're getting easily frustrated with kind of stressful situations, if you're noticing that you are having arguments with people and you don't honestly really even know what you're arguing about, that is a clear sign. Especially if you're getting like anxiety, literally anxiety. Clear sign that it's time to carve out a little alone time for yourself, away from all the stressors, away from all those stress triggers. Carve out some time for yourself to be able to sit and slowly go through what it is that you're feeling. If you're having difficulty drawing that out of you, sometimes it can mean listening to emotional music that really helps get you feeling like you're, in your heart space, or like you're feeling like you're able to really honestly and vulnerably let those feelings out and process them. Some people have difficulty crying. Some people have difficulty getting mad. Some people have difficulty being sad or being happy. Those emotions are going to be different for everybody. Depending on how you're raised and your experiences with those emotions, they may be kind of unconsciously labeled off limits. So something about this week is really going to draw that out. Make sure you give yourself time. Anything that's really going to help you feel more comfortable and more safe to let those emotions out is going to help. So, like I said, music. If you like to write, go ahead and write. If you don't like writing, I wouldn't force it. You could do drawing as well. Sometimes just visually letting stuff out and doodling. You don't have to have any plan for it at all. But just to really let your mind wander, let your hands just kind of do whatever and just flow, that will really help. So I'm going to be going live later today. I'm a little low on energy because I'm just getting better, so I'm not sure how long I'll be able to do it. But I look forward to seeing you guys there. For everybody else who I have readings, chart work that I have yet to do, really appreciate your patience. I am back on the job tomorrow. Today's my last rest day. I've been reading, hoping that it would really help fuel my work once I'm back in. So I will see you guys later tonight in my time. It'll be 12, but for Pacific Standard Time, that will be noon. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Have a good week.